and welcome to the Closet Cast. This is Justin.
Danny Foster.
And I'm Peyton.
And let's get right into this. Danny, you were talking about a movie script you were wanting to go and write.
Yes, on last week's episode.
Yeah, welcome to part 2, by the way. So we decided that the conversation got so good that we just break this into a 2-parter. So it wasn't a 2-hour sit.
Same night, but we're going to make you wait a week.
Yeah,
you've already waited a week if you've heard this. So
yeah, I mean, if you're still listening to us after 3 weeks. And
by the way, not a gay podcast, but gays are welcome to listen. If you're a nerd, you'll probably dig it. I mean, you got to treat this like every episode's someone's first episode, so we got to keep reminding them every episode.
I don't think we need to remind them ever. I think the average person is just going to know it's not a gay podcast.
You're making them question it.
Someone may come across it like, hey,
I tell you what,
I'm still
what
in the closet, man. Maybe
what we're going to do is we're going to design a shirt that says, "This is not a gay podcast."
But we're supportive.
Oh,
but gays may like it if they're nerds and such.
No,
that's a long
The problem is,
slogan.
when you guys told me about this, I looked it up on SoundCloud, and right next to it was Closet Geeks.
I seen that too. Yeah.
I saw that too. Actually followed them on there.
I was gonna say I feel like we should do like some sort of cross promotional thing with these guys.
Actually, I started following them. I haven't reached out to them at all. I think I'm going to though, just because I think
just because we both have closet in our names.
Yeah, we can both just give each other a word out there, which we already gave theirs. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, go ahead and name drop us, boys.
Girls, whoever.
We didn't mean to almost steal your name. It just kind of came to us one day whenever we were in here. We were talking about creating a podcast, Danny and I were, and he was like, we were talking about where to do it at, and I suggested in the closet because
cut down on sound.
Yeah, cut down on background noise. So
we're not doing it in the closet.
No. Then we were trying to figure out a name, and we were just like, what about the Closet Cast?
And it's just stuck, even though we're not actually in a closet.
I think it kind of has a nice ring to it.
I mean,
plus it lured Justin. He saw the name Closet, now he's here. So last week we brought him on with the premise of special guest. I even tweeted about it right before we started recording.
Well, I think he's going to be a permanent
host. Yeah. I think we should make him a permanent host.
First one did so bad we had to spike up the ratings by bringing in a third.
Yeah, he's
already so soon that
ladies and gentlemen, we present Justin and his thoughts
on whatever.
On whatever.
I don't know.
But you're still
on the Closet Cast, only found here until someone offers them money to come on their show.
But you still went on the first one, so you're still going to be the rookie always. So we're just going to call you
always the rookie,
something.
never the pro.
Greenhorn.
Hey, Greenhorn.
We've only done one more podcast than him, but he is the Greenhorn.
We have this much more experience than you, so we're going to throw a weight around like we're big shots.
All right, so there's a few things that we didn't get into yesterday.
Yesterday. You mean
yesterday, last week, today.
You mean an hour ago?
Well, even day before yesterday for us.
Yeah.
Because
we recorded the first one just not even 2 days ago.
Yeah, but one thing we didn't touch on was video games.
No.
Well, before we jump into video games, can we talk about the script? Because I really want to hear this.
Oh, okay. my horror version of the Expendables. Okay. When you think about Expendables, right? It's all of the action stars.
All the 80s action stars.
Yes. Particularly of the 80s. Well, my idea would, not all, but a lot of the horror characters. Yeah. I'm thinking it's got to be a classic good versus evil.
Yeah.
So can Stallone be his character from Demolition Man?
Oh, no, that's that was a horror movie.
A horrible movie.
That was a terrific movie.
No, I liked it, but
I tried wiping my ass with seashells for like 4 days after that. Did not feel pleasant.
Danny, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
What were you saying, Justin?
I was saying I'd like to hear Danny's idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I think we've covered the Freddy Jason versus Ash, right? So Ash has obviously got to be like one of the good guys, but I'm kind of racking my brain because it can't just be Ash because there's going to be a lot of these. Once you hear more, there's going to be a lot more horror characters involved.
I'm going to go ahead and bust this out into a list because I like this idea and I want to see.
That's the thing.
See it written.
How many good guys do you have in horror movies that actually survive
to be in the sequels? Yeah, it's usually the other way around. You don't see Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street again. I guess you see Heather Langenkamp. She comes back. They killed her off in one, and You know, so I think it'd be best to avoid her.
Yeah.
You know, but I was thinking, you know, obviously we covered Ash, but the Phantasm series. You know, if you've ever watched Phantasm with the flying balls, the silver balls, and like the tall man who's like from other dimensions. Oh, they're great movies. You gotta watch the Phantasm
I'm gonna have
movies.
to find them.
You could find them right behind Peyton's back there. Have all 3, and there's supposed to be 4. Yeah, there's 4, and then a 5th one's coming out. That's been done now for like over a year. But no, yeah, there was like a team. There was the Ice Cream Man, Reggie. His name was Reggie on the movie, and he was an ice cream man, and his friend and his little brother, and like basically it's them trying to take out the tall man, and it's just a really weird, bizarre thing. He turns people into balls, flying balls with spikes and drills and shit, and he crushes some of their bodies down into little dwarfs to make them his slaves.
Yeah.
It's just a really weird, bizarre thing. I can't really do it justice on describing it.
Yeah.
But I think Reggie stands out as a hero because, you know, you think of Ash, what do you think? You think of the chainsaw
The chainsaw arm, yeah.
Okay, well, Reggie, he's got a 4-barrel shotgun.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, I like the idea of the 4-barrel shotgun. I think you could do Reggie with Ash.
Yeah.
Now, beyond that, I'm having trouble thinking of some other...
Yeah, that's the big problem, though. I mean, you'd have a laundry list of people, villains.
Oh, yeah.
For it. But, I mean, your heroes, or your protagonist... I can't even say the fucking
Protagonist?
word. Protagonist. Would be kind of a short list, which would probably make it better.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, impossible odds.
Well, I was thinking maybe not even have, like, a whole lot of villains just because of that, but have little nods.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, you know, Ash has got his classic shitty car.
Yeah.
And then maybe you see, like, hanging in the rearview mirror, like, Chucky's head.
Yes.
But Chucky's not in the movie, but, like, oh, there's
a nod, yeah.
Yeah. But obviously you got Freddy and Jason, but I was also thinking Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the original plans for Freddy vs. Jason, for it to end with them in hell, and then, like, Pinhead, like, separating them. And that's kind of what spurred this idea on for me. I'm like, oh, you could just keep going.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking those 3, at least, you know, or, you know, do the Hellraiser, you know, cast, you know, because there's all those other Cenobites.
Yeah.
Which I think it's hilarious. They're called Cenobites, you know, like, it's a breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
But do that, you know, and then Freddy and Jason, obviously, and I don't know who else. My ending is the best. Okay, everyone goes their separate ways at the end of the movie. Oh well, you got to do Tall Man, obviously. For Phantasm, if you're gonna have Reggie, you got to have the Tall Man. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And plus, he crosses dimensions.
Yeah, so
he could just jump into.
Can we put Shao Kahn in this?
That's a video game, though. We can't do video games.
Well, no, he's got a movie. He's got a cartoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but a live action show.
Yeah, it's just
he's become Mortal Kombat has become its own, you know, world now.
Yeah,
so.
But it's separate though. I don't
think
you can throw it in
we're talking about
between.
80s movies, Pete. That's the 90s.
Yeah, that's 90s,
Can
man.
we put him in there as a villain though?
I mean,
we can have somebody play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
I'll play.
Well, you got to get the rights to that first, though.
Yeah. But no, my ending was just added another little extra nod. I'm just thinking those 4 villains.
Yeah.
But at the end, everyone goes their separate ways, and we see Ash just driving a shitty car down the road. And then all of a sudden, you know, he's out in the middle of nowhere. You see a woman, you know, half naked, you know, running into the woods. So he stops, and then you see, you know, we don't show the whole thing. You just see a menacing shadow holding a chainsaw.
Oh God, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yes.
And then he just like.
So then
drives away.
No. No, he steps in because that, you know, he is a hero. He's a cowardly hero.
Well, he's
no.
Like his willingness to jump into that situation is totally based on how hot the girl was that ran across the road.
Exactly. Yeah. So he goes to go save her. Right. He's got the Texas Chainsaw, Leatherface. He's got the chainsaw, getting ready to come down on the girl.
Oh God!
Shotgun, boom, blast the chainsaw away, and then he just does like a hey.
Yeah.
Come get some. And then you just see chainsaws go, credits.
Yes.
Sir?
That's how you end it.
I believe that's quite groovy.
And then people are going to be clamoring for the Texas Chainsaw sequel. I was like, well, you can kind of guess where it's going to go from there. There's no reason for a sequel.
Like, you could just open the sequel up with him being decapitated.
But you could totally do it.
Credits.
Or maybe do an after...
after credits.
After credits scene, you see Leatherface in hell.
Like a Gears of War style, you know, the chainsaw duel.
Yeah.
And then Ash wins, of course.
Well, I was thinking we don't even see it.
No, you don't even see the end of
entire-
it. You just see the chainsaws, and then one of them goes down.
You guys just created an entire show.
No,
Ash
no.
versus.
No.
God.
Here's the ending, because at this point he's defeated Hellraiser, he's defeated Freddy, Jason. They're all dead, right? So it ends. We see them clashing chainsaws, but that's it. We don't see who wins. Credits after scene. You see the defeated villains all in hell playing poker, and then you just see Leatherface walk in and they deal him in.
Yes, I would absolutely watch that movie.
I think that'd be pretty awesome.
I pretty much
series, whatever it is, I would watch it.
I pretty much just got random ideas. I got the ending down. That's really about it. But
That's how
I
you
mean,
need
you
that.
know, just throwing some gruesome deaths. Some nonsense with the tall man and the Necronomicon has brought everyone together.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. You know, you can
So
figure
why
it
would
out.
Jason be going after the Necronomicon? Bring back his mother?
Well,
it's like a continuation of Freddy and Jason's
yeah,
fight.
this is where all this is spurred from. So basically, we'll just say, you know, Freddy's manipulating him again. You know, because Jason's slow in the head.
And Jason will
So-
always come back.
Yeah, Jason could never die.
Yeah,
mean-
plus, he won, so
Yeah.
he has to still be at the lake.
He's still in play.
I
He
really,
still has a resurrection at the lake while Freddy's got to escape hell.
I realize this movie's probably impossible to make, but
Yeah,
comic
just-
book series.
Getting
yeah.
the rights to everything. I mean, we could probably do a comic book series. I know quite a few artists.
Yeah.
We could do a comic book series where we kind of don't
Well-
use the actual source material. We just kind of base it off of it in
Well-
a way that is
Like give him
non-suable.
swords for fingers.
Scary Terry.
Just
Like Scary
Uh,
Terry, yeah.
We just do knockoff characters.
Yes.
we'll make him
exactly.
Edward Scissorhands, but burnt.
Oh, God.
We just change everyone's names slightly. It's not Ash anymore. It's just like, I don't know.
Man
Smoke.
with gun.
Ethan.
I'm trying to think like what would be kind of like Ash. Smoke, ice,
God.
Cinder.
Fire.
Cinder.
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 God.
God, he sounds emo.
Smoldering. Smolder.
Smolder. Yeah.
Okay, it's harder to come up with parodies of these
Yeah.
characters. Dynamite Comics, I know they do all the Ash and
Yeah.
Evil Dead stuff. Feel free to take that idea. Just pass us a little cash, Olo,
Yeah,
or
you know,
or
or
at
a
least
nod. Just, you know, say idea.
at least based on the concept of the Closet
The
Cast.
ramblings
you know,
of one Danny
three
Foster.
madmen, yeah. But I don't know. I've had
Still
this
think Shao
idea.
Kahn should be in this. It could look out over the clouds and be like,
Okay, we've already got
I didn't get
Hellraiser, we've
involved.
already got Freddy, we got Jason,
I mean,
and Texas
know,
Chainsaw Massacre.
okay,
Yeah, Leatherface.
now-
That's-
Freddy did make an appearance in Mortal Kombat, right? Like
he
as a
did.
DLC.
That's what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
is linked to the world.
So I mean, I guess if you want to go
Freddy's
that
Well,
far,
of
world
course,
is
so
the
did
multiverse.
Halo. Or no, wait, that was Soul Calibur. My bad.
yeah,
I was gonna say, when was Master Chief in Halo?
No, it
Mortal
was
Kombat.
it was Soul Calibur. That's
yeah, it
my
was
bad.
the Soul Calibur that came out for the 360, right?
Yeah.
I had the one for the original Xbox, which they had Spawn for the Xbox version for some reason. Not that I was complaining. Spawn was
No.
badass, but like Nintendo had Link, you know, from Zelda, and Tekken I think was on PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
GameCube, not Wii. God, because I'm talking about shit from
way back when.
Eternal-
3 generations now.
Eternal Darkness,
Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
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 Requiem?
Requiem.
Requiem!
Okay, is this the
But
podcast
anyway,
now? Impossible words to say.
did either of you play it?
No.
It was on GameCube.
I played it at your house.
Okay, so yeah, we actually played through
Oh,
like,
wait,
the entire
well,
thing together.
I
Almost.
got through most of it.
We got.
I can't
the,
remember which character I was on.
No, we both ended up in the same place because my my game on my GameCube was glitched there.
Yeah.
So we both ended up in the second fight with the big, huge, tall cathedral monster, and he just wouldn't die.
Yeah.
I have to put a reference.
He quit taking damage almost at that like last
Trying to
little
think.
sliver of health. He would not take damage.
I've played one of those Perfect Darks, but I can't remember for what console.
Perfect Dark.
Is that what we're talking about?
No.
No, Eternal.
Eternal Darkness.
Sanity's
I
Rectum.
thought you were talking about Perfect Dark. I'm like, what are you talking
Sanity's
about?
Rectum. We'll just.
He's rectum. Yeah, you gotta
Damn near
get
killed
deep
him.
in there.
That's
Again, a straight podcast.
Well, that is one of those
Very
games
straight.
that I really wish they'd remake, and they've already said they'll never do it.
Yeah.
They'll never remake it. They want to just leave it how it is. I think that's just a cheap
Well,
cop out.
Well, no, it's
That's what they
because
say.
The mechanics they used in it wouldn't work now. They'd have to come up with whole new things, like the sound bar going down where
Yeah.
it's quiet. the mute popping up on the screen.
Well, who made this game?
And like the crash thing it did, where it messed with you.
No, they can still do all that.
Well, who made this game? Who made?
Dude, think about it. Instead of it saying your game is crashed, all they have to do is distort the screen in digitization and make that like
and
sound.
They say they'll never do it again. I call bullshit on that. How many times have we heard they're never going to make another Halo again? They're never going to make another. They're never going to make another Gears of War. After Gears of War 3, that's it. But now they're doing more Gears of War. Yeah, they haven't stopped. So, you know, they'll make it if there's enough fans, you know, clamoring for it. They'll make it.
Dude, fans have been clamoring for this for the last 2-3 years, and they have literally given nothing but. Well, we're not going to do another one.
I want to go on a small rant about Halo because you mentioned it. Halo 5 came out last year. I spent $250 on the collector's edition that came with the Master Chief and Agent Locke statues. It's, you know, as tall as the microphone is, or a little taller, and wide as the fucking desk.
I think I've seen. It's a big, huge.
Huge statue, and it's in 2 parts.
It's a huge fucking box, right? I thought it was an actual Xbox One. I'm like, holy shit, that Xbox One's only $249.
No, it was a statue,
but
it came with a steel case with no game in it.
Really?
See, I hate that they're going to digital media.
Physical copy. You got digital. I downloaded it a week early because I got to go pick it up a week early. Release night came. I go to start it up, have to re-download a 50 gigabyte game. And my internet decided to crap out on me. I was in 1996 on dial-up that night.
Yeah. You were all excited about that too.
I was really happy, and I was upset I didn't get a disc. I like physical media,
especially living in a rural area.
Yes.
What I wish they'd bring back though is you put it in and just play it.
Yeah.
I hate having to wait 24 hours to install a freaking game.
Yeah, it really sucks, but it does play better than.
I would rather have the longer
times now through all kinds of iterations.
See, and I can attest to like living in Michigan for the short period I did, downloading a game. I was right close to Flint, which is like a major city. It didn't take no time for games to download. I could see why streaming would be great, or downloading would be great, where you don't need the physical copy because it's so much faster up there than it is down here.
Yeah.
There is a difference, but you know we're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Jinx.
Oklahoma. How we stay so far behind the times.
I mean, I wish that they would. Remember when Google was going to do that free Wi-Fi for everybody?
Oh my God. I'm still fascinated to see if they're actually going to continue with Google Fiber.
Well, they're supposed to be.
I mean, they're still installing it in certain places, but it's not been as available as they've said it's going to be. It doesn't reach certain places, like the Rooster Teeth guys. They talked about it a lot. Like these guys were within like 5 blocks of each other is kind of what they described, but one guy couldn't get it and the other guy could.
Well, it's the same thing that's happening now with the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you lived somewhere where it's, the AT&T internet line stops right here
20
and you're
feet from your house and you can't get it.
Right, it's just like anything else. You just have to give them time to install it, you know? I mean, I've talked to some people I've actually, ran into just at the workplace where they lived in Dallas and they had Google Fiber.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And they're always out there putting a new line in. It's just a matter of getting the money to make sure you can keep that much up and going. So you have to build a new server so close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I live in town is just for high-speed internet. If I didn't have it, I'd be out in the country. My family, we got a nice piece of land, hay meadow. I hate town. I hate people.
That's why you never see me.
Yeah, that's why you never see me. You're one of my best friends. And we never talk because that makes you my best friend.
We're neighbors and we don't talk
because we're both introverts.
Yes.
In fact, this podcast has brought them together.
I was gonna say this podcast will probably improve our relationship.
It's probably been the most we've talked in recent times.
Yeah.
See, that's the good thing about this. Everybody out there should check out their local community of podcasts.
Well, and
just go and listen to everybody you can because there's some good ones out there. Since we started this, I've checked into a few of them, and there's some.
Well, Payton here is the social lubricant here. Yes. Okay. Like
you can call me KY Paley.
Like if we were doing it and it's dry, we don't work so well just us. But if we have some of that lube, then we could just get right inside each other. And...
Again, because you're the one that points it out.
Podcast, but Danny might be.
but then I make people question it. I got it. Yeah.
So okay. So into more video games, a game that we've all played in the past, and I do want to talk about because I feel that it's one of the best but most overrated games of all time at the same time, and that's GoldenEye.
Really?
In 64. Overrated. I do. I think if you were to take granted, it was a pioneer its own way, and for the time it was great, but it very quickly could get old.
Well,
yeah, but
once technology took off, because that was like the big point in history where video games started looking better.
Yeah, it's a generation thing.
It was the generation after the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
the
like
NES.
How old were y'all when GoldenEye came out? When did GoldenEye come out? 96? 97?
I don't know. I was young.
Yeah, see, I was at least 12, 13 years old when that came out. So that was, and like you said, like that was one of the first.
Yeah, it was definitely a turning point in gaming,
particularly for console gaming.
Yeah, because it changed the way environments work. Halo, in its time, the first game came out. They did a very interesting thing. Originally, it was going to come out on Apple, but then it moved to the Xbox. But they, in their tease for it, they showed the standard shooter where you're in a hallway. And then a door opened, and you were in a massive world. And that was another turning point in gaming. Yeah. Where it went from just the hallway or the flat background which you're platforming on, and it moved into an open world.
Yeah, but see, for me, saying GoldenEye is overrated, I say nay, sir. That game belongs at the top of anyone's list.
August 25th, 1997.
97,
wow,
okay.
So really close.
You were really close, but that's the thing is, okay, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Fun. I played it all the time, but I feel like if there would have been any competition at that time, it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
They had mechanics in there that just kind of like they worked just fine, and I mean it was I like the more simpler mechanics anyway over what they got now.
Yeah, but that game.
It pioneered it.
It pioneered it. That's what I'm getting at here.
But it's just one of those games where it was, I don't know, like the level design.
Competition wouldn't exist without this game. You said it didn't have any competition because
it's true.
Couldn't have existed without a first. And it was like, I know it's not the first-person shooter, but I mean, just the way it's regarded, some of the mechanics in it, it was definitely different.
Do you guys remember thinking how good those graphics were?
I do.
Sadly, yes.
But
Dude, 64 was like my console. Yeah, man. That was
I did like
my favorite console has to be the 64 of all time.
WNWO Revenge.
Oh yes.
Star
Fox.
Star Fox.
Star
Fox. Mercy.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate with Star Fox 64 just because
Stadium.
No.
I love Pokemon Stadium.
Freaking! Can we talk about the little Toad from Star Fox 64? That was like
no, wait.
No, he's a little whiny.
It's
too hot. It's too hot. I can't take it anymore.
Well, get out of the way, dumbass!
I'm always having to save his ass. They're on me, and I'm like, fuck.
No, the rabbit got on my nerves. Do a barrel roll.
Yes, the barrel.
Do a barrel roll.
I only like the Falcon dude because he was kind of like.
He was just like the.
He was like the
smart ass.
Yeah, he was like the asshole of the group.
Yes.
He was like Vegeta.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
very Vegeta. Very renegade.
I think he became.
Renegade for life.
I didn't keep up with the Star Fox games after that, but I think he became a villain in the future games, didn't he?
I don't know.
This whole time while we're talking, he's just fidgeting with
fucking around. Sorry for
I just decided I wanted to
we don't have a video podcast yet.
We will, though, one day. Far, far away, whenever we get something set up back here.
Yeah, because I need to know what's going on, because...
You just hate it when you pull out your camera and it has the forward facing and you're looking at your face?
We get these conversations going, but it'll just be like me and Peyton or just me and Justin, so I don't know what the other guy's doing. So
I knew stop.
And it's quiet for a second. You're like, what are they doing?
And I could see him out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like trying not to like.
I just kind of
make reference
I wanted to check and see if I could hear what was coming through the microphone better.
But Okay.
Tweet it out, man.
Tweet it out on the tweets.
If you haven't heard, we all three have Twitter accounts.
Yeah, I mean, good luck catching me on there. But I'm there.
He will hardly ever update, but he is _ Mr. Bad Example _
Shooter in the dirt.
And Justin over here is at
That Deadite Guy.
And I am at Mortal Knight 1, being a number 1, not spelling it out. Feel free to add us, follow us, and get on our actual Twitter cast.
Yeah.
The cast at Cast Closet.
Like us on iTunes, or subscribe to us on iTunes.
And this entire podcast will be broadcast with the theme song to some Disney movie in the background.
Is it Let It Go?
It's Frozen, and that is Let It Go.
It's a catchy tune.
It is a catchy tune.
Mine and Peyton's wife are in there watching Disney classics. Because, you know, they're, as much as they call us children, I mean, they're just as childish as we are, right? I mean, they married us, so they gotta have something wrong in there. That's right, we're married to women. Hello?
Yeah,
totally straight.
I'm the only one that's in question at this time, but I do like women.
Yeah, but we know that, right? We're not gonna
I hope so. I haven't made a pass at you guys, have I?
Maybe, I don't know. I think I've made passes at both of you.
I've had some drunk nights, but I don't know about that.
Well, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, what were we talking about?
I don't know. I just texted them and told them, asking them if they couldn't turn it down, because Elsa is very loud.
Yeah, she has one of those voices.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed that movie for the simple fact that it was an actual good Disney classic. It's been a while since something like that came out.
That's a catchy tune.
But anyway, back to video games, because
that's what we're talking about. Video games.
What about what was it? What was that Star Wars game? Was it Rogue One?
Are you talking about for the 64?
No, for the 64.
Talking about Shadows of the Empire.
No.
No?
That one. The other one.
The Battlefield?
It was something Rogue.
You're not talking about pod racing, are you?
God, no. That was way too early for that.
It was
no, pod racing was on 64. I played it.
I think it was just Star Wars Rogue. It was the one basically just took you through the storyline.
It was for the 64.
I don't remember.
It was nothing but a flyer.
I remember Shadows of the Empire. I love that game for 64. You had like little cheat codes too, so you could like control stormtroopers. I love that. I miss cheat codes. Just like
I do too. It's like you don't have those little Easter eggs in the game anymore.
You know, like being able to play as a stormtrooper or what else? You can play as like what the fuck's that other thing called? I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm blanking. Anyways, you could play as the villains, and it's kind of cool. You know, it's total cheat, but I don't know.
There it is. Rogue Squadron.
Rogue
Squadron.
Yeah. That one's the one that you just fly, right? Like,
yeah.
You're just in an X-wing.
That was actually a really cool game, though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I remember trying to trip up the is it ATSTs?
AT-ATs. AT-ATs. Addies.
The addicts.
Oh yeah, there's the AT
space robot cows.
Yes, the big robot cows.
There's the AT-ATs and the ATSTs, which
like as a troop transport that looks amazing. Looks like you fit a ton of people in there.
How do they get to the ground?
Grappling hooks. It's the answer to everybody's problem. That's why there are so many good superheroes out there who use grappling hooks.
Yeah,
Batman. Exactly, being probably the best. I mean, would you guys consider Spider-Man's web a grappling hook of sorts? It doesn't really hook onto anything. Yeah, but like, what's a grappling hook do? It tethers you.
Yeah,
that's the act of tethering.
Yeah, so does a rope.
See, so if you had a rope,
so if it's hook. I mean, if we're gonna throw that in, how about Wonder Woman's lasso? You know.
Yeah, but that literally grapples people.
Yeah, it grabs them. You know,
it wraps itself around them and shit. So it's like holding them in a bear hug. So yes, that's a grappling move, which means that is grappling as well. So is her
how
lasso...
did we get to grappling hook? I
how did we get to Wonder Woman? Jesus.
I want to know how we got to grappling hook.
Wonder Woman.
That was my first crush. First crush.
What do you think of the chick playing Wonder Woman now?
Oh, Gal Gadot, I believe is her name. I think she's awesome, and
she's gonna.
I thought she was a little bit too slender.
She's a little slender
because I mean she's an Amazon, damn it.
Yeah,
she needs to have a little bit of meat on them bones.
Yeah, I mean she could be bigger, I guess, but
who would be able to play her?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she had the look in the face.
Lucy Lawless is in her 50s now.
Yeah, and there was like that.
I don't think she would have made a good Wonder Woman anyway. Like, she's got the look, but her acting capabilities.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a bad actress. She did good in Spartacus, but she wasn't like Store Shield.
Hey, she's good in Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so.
You have not watched.
We haven't watched a single episode.
The last time I tried to watch one of those episodes, I got rickrolled and the gas torrents went off the air. So all in the same day. So I decided, I guess I'm done with this.
See, I get Stars Play. I just use my mom's account for satellite, so I can just watch it on Stars Play. Same with all my HBO stuff. I don't have HBO. I got HBO Go through my mom's account because she don't use that stuff. That's all for me.
Well, it's worth it. It's like the network, man.
Just,
WWE
if you got
network,
if you got parents,
I use yours because it's awesome.
Take their streaming stuff. They ain't watching that. They old. They don't know what that is. That's my tidbit.
Well, see, makes sense. Somebody's got to use it.
Exactly.
You keep getting off video games, Danny.
Well, you mentioned grappling
BioShock.
hooks.
The BioShock release.
Didn't we talk about this already, or is that on the unreleased?
I think it might be on the unreleased one. But Justin here, have you ever played a BioShock game?
I played all the BioShock games.
Okay, so you played all the BioShock games. Are you going to be playing the re-release?
I can't afford it, to be honest. I've played them enough that I don't feel like I need to play them again. I'm kind of getting tired of the let's revamp and re-release onto the newest generation console.
I'm with you.
There are only a few games.
Burning out. No,
there's only a few games I find it acceptable for. It seems like they're just doing it for all games.
Like, I was happy with Payday because it's a game we played a lot.
Well, yeah, if you're in that transition from 360 to Xbox One,
was an older game that could use a revamp. That needed a second life because it was a popular game at a time.
Well, yeah, and there was like a lot of those were just released at the same time.
But the big problem I have is like, well, let's see. There's Master Chief Collection, which was all of the Halo games up to Halo 4, which was great because it was also the 10th anniversary of Halo 2, which they did a update on it, and it looked amazing. But I mean, it's all the Halo games going to the new console. It was basically the year after Halo 4 or whatever Halo game came out before that. But the games I'm having a problem with that they're really re-releasing are the ones that literally came out on the 360 and then the Xbox One dropped and like, oh, let's put it on the Xbox One too.
Yeah, so like like all the Call of Duties,
Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider, all the Call of Duties.
I've seen like
jump to the new one.
Yeah, and the 360 versions are always way worse.
Yeah.
Like with Payday, there's no John Wick for one. Like, and then there's not a lot of the same. There's a lot more melee weapons on the Xbox One and more levels.
It feels like a better game.
Yeah. I've only played it the one time whenever your brother left his Xbox One over and we rented Payday 2. You rented because you were gracious enough, and then I used my account on it. That's really been my only experience with the Xbox One. I'm not the gamer of the group anymore. I used to. It's been a while.
I actually enjoy the Xbox One quite a bit. I think it's really I think it's the better console playing both of them.
It's definitely came into its own recently with all the updates and everything they've done. There have been some changes I haven't liked.
I don't like the new dashboard.
The new dashboard's a little bit of a pain to get around on because it feels like the blades on the original 360 where there's the delay when you go up to the top and try to go to games or whatever on the next level over.
Yeah, but don't you feel like the 360 still had some more life left in it before they went to another
console? Well, it had been
console?
out for almost 8 years, 9 years.
It's true, but it still hadn't reached its full potential, right?
But they were reaching the end of its potential on graphics and everything else. I mean, there were games that went a long way with what it had.
BioShock Infinite.
Yes, in its lifespan. But it was time for a new one. The PS4, on the other hand, it was still... The PS3 had been out longer than the 360, hadn't
it? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it should have been out earlier, but it's got to be PlayStation versus Xbox.
Yeah, and I mean, I wish PlayStation didn't have such awesome exclusives.
Yeah, because that's something I'm worried about.
Well, they have really awesome exclusives, but I hate their controller.
Yeah, I can't stand. I don't like the DualShock.
I used to just buy both consoles, but when it came down to 360 and the PlayStation 3, I had to choose. I had to choose 360. I couldn't afford both of them.
Yeah.
You know, at the time I could have, and I just never wanted a PlayStation 3.
No, they didn't have enough.
No.
What games did I want
content for me to want?
Infamous and Uncharted. That was the only two games I really missed out on. Oh, God of War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they mean the consoles are so expensive now for one than what they used to be.
Way.
You know,
way
but like
over.
When that the old generation, not the old, but kind of old. You know, 64. The original PlayStation, and the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Dreamcast I think came out.
Dreamcast.
Or no, Dreamcast.
Sega CD.
Or did Dreamcast come out when
Sega CD?
No, Sega Saturn, I guess. Dreamcast came out. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, I had the Xbox, the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, and I had the Dreamcast. That's the last time I had like all of the current generation consoles, you know, that many years ago, like early 2000s, yeah. Like 2000, 2001.
Over a decade ago.
Yeah. But out of all those, the Xbox was my favorite, and then I just stuck with Xbox.
Yeah. With how technology is, though, we could really wait 10 years after the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 for a new console.
Yeah, but they're not going to wait that long.
No, but they should. I mean, we're already talking about an Xbox 5 or whatever they're Neo.
Whatever they're calling.
I don't know. They nickname it something.
And then Xbox has got codename Scorpio. I don't know that I don't want to spend that much money this quick. I don't feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of the last one. Yeah, me buying a new one.
Isn't it kind of a shame that Nintendo's not even in the conversation anymore?
I was gonna bring up Nintendo. I feel kind of bad for them, but I wish they would just accept that they're done.
64 was their last good console.
Stick to the mobile games and their handhelds.
Yeah.
Because that is where all their money is.
Well, now they're like licensing those.
Yeah, they're licensing
phone apps for the games.
Yeah, they're licensing Mario and all those characters for fun for the mobile market.
Yeah, mobile games. There we go.
They could just keep on releasing games on the Wii.
Well, the problem I have with Nintendo is they have not had any new IPs in decades.
I don't know about decades.
The last new character before the whatever the like paint fighting game was,
Splatoon.
They didn't. That's not even really a new thing.
Oh.
But the last thing they created before that was Pikmin.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
They just keep re-releasing the same games over and over again.
Now that I think about it, even like their mashup games never had new characters. They were just all used characters.
Going back to the 64, you're talking about the wrestling games.
Yeah.
You were talking NWO Revenge and No Mercy. Okay, well, No Mercy is considered by a lot of people, especially my generation, to be the greatest wrestling game of all time. There's a Kickstarter I was hearing about that is going to be like a re-release of a No Mercy style game. I don't know if it would be an actual 64 console, kind of like they did with that Super Nintendo game here like a few years ago.
Yeah, the regular Nintendo.
Was it a regular Nintendo?
Yeah, a little console came with like 300 and something games.
No, they released an actual new Super Nintendo game that was actually playable for Super Nintendo because of some, I don't know what it was, but I don't know if that's what this Kickstarter is or if it's just going to be something for PC or, you know, a current console. But I'm excited about it. It's a new mod that plays like No Mercy, but it's gonna have like independent wrestlers on there, like current wrestlers.
There was a Kickstarter I heard about. I didn't check it out, but there are some developers wanting to make a booking simulating game.
Really?
I thought that sounded like a pretty cool idea.
Simulators are in, dude.
Well, it's like, you know, you just have randomly generated wrestlers, and you have to like form a company, sign contracts, and then book them, and then you can wrestle as them if you want. And I haven't looked into it to see if it's even real or not, but I heard about it somewhere in forum or on a podcast or something. I just thought it sounded like a really good idea. That'd be the wrestling game for me. I ain't care less about using somebody that exists.
Would it have VR support?
No. VR is dying, man.
It would just be like a spreadsheet program.
Yeah, basically.
Congratulations, you made your own fucking franchise.
Well, you could choose your own storylines and stuff like that. I actually ran across a PC game like that not too long ago that was indie developed. And it was really cool because you could write out all your own scripts. They had this little community around the game. So you could actually save your card, and you could record whenever you're letting them wrestle. You couldn't wrestle, but you could record the simulator running, basically, and you could actually put up a show this way. It had a whole whopping 12 members on it. Yeah, and I was the only person who posted anything. So it was a good idea in theory. Hey, I'm a huge wrestling nerd, man. And him and I both.
Yeah, and this idea of a No Mercy redo over here, I mean,
that would be great.
I'd like to see it on a console where you could play online with people and shit.
Now, see, how much different was the WCW NWO Revenge engine to the No Mercy engine? It was the Unreal physics that really made the difference.
The first one wasn't Revenge. It was it World Tour or
it was
WCW NWO versus the World.
I think it was NWO
something like
versus
that.
The World.
Well, there was the one for the PlayStation was
the World.
PlayStation had a different name. You know, PlayStation had their own franchise of wrestling style games, but they were both made by THQ. But you know, you couldn't buy No Mercy, or you couldn't buy WCW and NWO Revenge on the PlayStation. That was only for the 64, I think.
Man,
I think the PlayStation counterpart was Nitro,
or it might have been Thunder.
Yeah, could have been one of those.
Thunder was a good game though.
But the difference between No Mercy and that first one, World Tour or Revenge, whichever you want to call it, I mean, it's pretty much the same game, but they add a few moves here and there, some more abilities. You backstage area.
So good.
Yeah, because No Mercy added the backstage area, ladder matches, cage matches. You know, none of the other iterations.
Now, did they do the weapon under the ring or in the crowd?
They did the.
I know Revenge did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Revenge did the one.
Which one came first? Was it No Mercy or Revenge?
Revenge came before No Mercy because WCW had THQ's had a contract with THQ. Acclaim was making WWE or WWF games at the time. Before, who was it? EA ended up getting WCW's contract for video games, and then THQ moved on to WWE with WrestleMania 2000. I think that was the first one. They did that one, and then they did No Mercy. I take that back. The cage match was in WrestleMania 2000. But they introduced the ladder match in No Mercy, which is the follow-up.
They introduced the awesome, change every character in the game mechanic.
Yeah, it was like...
No Mercy came out almost 2 years after Revenge, man.
Yeah.
So that was like... I didn't think that had much of a difference between the two of them in release. I thought they were... Revenge was in 98, No Mercy was in 2000. I thought Revenge came out like right at that, 98 mark, but No Mercy came out like 99.
Yeah, and whatever the one was before Revenge, I think, was like 96, 97.
I just remember being able to walk over to the barricade in Revenge, grab a steel chair, slide in the ring, and hit him.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, and they kept that all the way to No Mercy. You pull weapons out of the crowd.
Yeah.
But they also added the table in No Mercy, so you could put people through the announce table and shit.
Do you remember whenever they first added getting weapons out from underneath the ring on the SmackDown series on the PlayStation?
I remember... Yeah, because I love the SmackDown series, specifically SmackDown 2.
SmackDown versus Raw was a good series all the way up to like 2010.
Yeah, 2009.
But SmackDown 2 will always be my favorite. You just kept going forever.
Yes, I remember having
I held the belt.
Me and my cousin playing.
I held the belt for 7 years, and I had someone just randomly steal it from me. And then no storyline after that at all.
Yeah, and now I don't know. The wrestling games have just kind of gotten bland to me. Yeah. No Mercy will always be my favorite. I mean, I think when I think of all my consoles in 64, I probably had gotten the most life out of. Because I still go back and play the 64.
My N64 console broke down on me a week after I got it. So that's what I get for buying it on eBay.
See,
it was only a few years back, actually, because I just played off our neighbors N64. Before that, we'd bring over our Super Nintendo and play Power Rangers and stuff like that. Justin remembers those days.
Yeah, that was a long fucking time ago, dude.
Remember our buddy who used to slam the controller against the room whenever he'd lose to you on a game?
Yeah.
That was always a fun time. He'd calm down, and then he'd challenge you again, and then he beat you.
It's like Monopoly all over again.
Oh, God. What about Risk?
Oh, God. Risk?
Fuck Risk. That undergrads put it perfectly.
Yeah.
Undergrads from MTV. You remember that show?
I vaguely remember the show, yes.
Undergrads put it perfectly. You just need an entire weekend to do it. Fuck all your other plans.
It took fucking weeks, dude.
Yeah.
In the big house, in the basement, we used to play that for like weeks at a time.
Gosh, see, I don't remember really playing much board games. I remember playing Monopoly quite a bit when I was a kid. I do remember playing Risk one time. I don't know if we did it right because it sure didn't take us weeks to play. We finished it like an hour.
No, it was because we were all very strategic minded and we would work against each other.
Yeah, we basically, like, if you looked at our map, it was like the safest possible countries for us to take we'd have. And it was Lord of the Rings edition.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember the first time we played it for like 3 days in a row during one summer. And finally, we're just like, the ring is only halfway across this map.
Yeah, we gotta fucking do something about that.
So we went to the quick play rules. And then we finished up that day. It still took a little while, but we finished up that day.
Yeah, see, like, I remember I was younger, we just mostly played video games, which back then there was, like, regular Nintendo, and you really couldn't save, so we just would stay up all night playing those games.
Yeah. We were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
You know? That was
I never got
20s, and
I've never gotten to Dungeons and Dragons.
Not getting laid at all.
Come on. Not dropping any panties?
Nope. But we will be breaking records.
We will be breaking records. That's right. We've waited this long.
You know what? Let's let Danny go ahead and talk about this, and then we'll hit up some notes on it afterward, because it's going to be a little bit of an undertaking on our end. But Danny, why don't you explain the contest? I'm going to step out and get one of my little Apple Bonanza sodas.
Okay.
I fucking love apple soda.
Maybe they could become a sponsor.
Apple soda is amazing.
Apple soda. This next bit of news is sponsored by Apple Soda, whatever that brand is. Okay, listen, everyone, Peyton, who's not in this room, but everyone in this room, everyone listening to this, I'm telling you right now, we are going to set a record. We are going to break the record for the longest uninterrupted webcast. I believe the record right now is at 52 hours.
I will look it up.
Yeah, I've looked it up. So we're going to go at least 53 hours. And I promise you, we will take it. Because that record belongs here in the good old US of A. I think it's some Turkey guys that got it. Let's bring home the gold to USA. USA!
USA!
There's my chant. Okay. I swear to God this is going to happen. I don't know how the logistics are going to work. We got to figure out how to do a non-stop podcast like we have professional equipment.
Is video.
That's video. Yeah, audio. Yeah, fuck video. We can't do 150 hours. I don't have the time for that.
No, but
audio.
Have you already talked about trying to get a charity behind us?
No, I haven't.
So we're going to look into a few charities and see if they won't sponsor it, and kind of we'll pick up donations as we do this podcast.
We are shooting for the week of Thanksgiving to try and do this.
Yeah, sometime before the holiday itself.
Yeah, either before or after. I mean,
yeah.
I'm off all that week.
Maybe do it through Thanksgiving, and then once
we start the night of Thanksgiving, maybe.
Well, we have to do it on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
But we'll probably do it through Thanksgiving. So, you know, as long as the podcast is still going, all three of us are hosts. We're gonna look into the rules, but we're planning on just kind of alternating out every now and then.
Yeah.
But for every hour each one of us make, we're thinking about setting a goal. So if Danny stays up for a straight 36 hours on podcast with me, well, I'll donate this much if he does that, hits that mark. I'm hoping we can get something like that built up.
Yeah.
Look into a few different kinds of charities. But that's our record. Was it 52 minutes?
I believe 52 hours. Not 52 minutes.
I have it right
52
here.
hours.
It is exactly 52 hours.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. I had a little difficulty finding the exact record. If there's any other podcast records we should find, maybe we could try and break those while we're breaking this one.
It was set on the 15th of April in 2012 in Istanbul, Turkey.
2012?
Yep.
4 years? You're telling me the United States hasn't had this record in 4 years?
Yep.
Listen, we are doing this for the country. God bless the USA. All right? We're bringing it home, guys. We are bringing it home. I swear to you on my life, we are bringing it to the United States. Even if I have to do it alone, if these two fall asleep, I will not fail you. I will interview the goddamn wall if I have to.
Yeah.
This show,
you gotta pull a Clint
this record,
and talk to a chair.
Yes.
He very well may be looking at a wall, then interviewing that wall.
This record will be broken right here. I promise you that. Look at that, see? Got the blood boiling. Turkey, we're coming for you. What you gonna do, brother?
You know, it'd be kind of cool if we did start a trend, though, where podcast after podcast just broke it for charity.
I'm all for charity. I mean, if we could get charity for staying up for, over 2 days.
I don't know what charity would touch us.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I came up with that idea while taking a shit. It seemed like a good way to...
The greatest place to come up with ideas.
Yeah, right. I mean, I was just thinking, I'm like,
I was thinking something for Alzheimer's, maybe. Not a lot of people do Alzheimer's.
This podcast brought to you by the toilet.
I was thinking animals.
Best place to come up with great ideas.
Like I said, we're gonna shoot for November. It may or may not happen. Hopefully.
What do you guys say about making this one an hour and a half long?
I'm all for it. I mean,
I need something to drink.
Go get something to drink.
Go get something to drink.
We'll keep this going.
Well, I'm eating pizza, so.
Well, I'll keep this going by
yapping away.
Cut more promos on Turkey. Tell them, listen, you jive turkeys.
No. We gotta share with the world our idea. Speaking of promos, of our wrestling characters.
Wrestling characters.
So Danny here is my manager for wrestling. This is just an idea.
Copyright, Peyton and Danny. Copyright, Peyton and Danny.
So Danny's my manager, but I come out dressed like the manager. He comes out dressed like the wrestler. Comes on out, strutting around, doing his poses, doing his flexes, warming up the crowd. And then the opponent comes out. He jumps out and starts clapping for me. Taking off the blazer, hand it to him.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I'll even buy my own tights. Like, I'm going to wrestle. And just come out in tights and a t-shirt. Like, I got my own t-shirt that says... My idea for these vignettes would be, I'm talking about you, but it sounds like I'm talking about myself in the third person.
Yes.
And I'm just like, because you know what's going to happen when Cobra, runs wild on you. I don't know why I'm going into Hulk Hogan, but I'll just keep saying Cobra or whatever your name would be, but make it sound like I'm talking about myself. And then, we come out, you have the breakaway pants, and you have the same tights that I have on.
Yes.
And then I just put the blazer on and just step out the ring and just clap and do the dirty heel manager stuff.
That'd be terrific.
What the hell did I miss?
Our fantastic idea for a wrestling gimmick. You'll just have to go back and listen to it if you want to know.
I have to listen to myself talk. That's fantastic.
You get used to it, man.
Positivity breeds positivity, Justin.
Yes, I'll add one more listen to the podcast.
That's right. Because the only people listening right now are the people we know.
Yeah.
And a few strangers, right? They're not all folks we know.
Yeah, a few strangers.
We don't really know 24 people, do we?
I mean, right. I don't really talk to anybody, so I might have acquaintances. I have 24 Facebook friends. Does that count?
Sure. Give it to all 24 of them so they can be jealous.
I think I have more than 24. Just for the record. I'm not a loser, okay? But I'm never on there because I'm not a loser. Oh man, I just offended a lot of people that like Facebook.
It's okay.
Bye. And we got like us on Facebook, by the way.
Yeah, we just started up a Facebook page as of this recording last week.
Yeah, it should be up by now, right?
Yeah.
Is it up currently as we're recording this?
No, episode 1 isn't. Or the part 1 isn't. Episode 1 is.
No, I'm talking about the Facebook.
Yeah, the wives are taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as of this recording, I mean, it should be ready by the time people hear this. I don't even know why I'm discussing it.
And look forward to our website coming out that will actually host our archive podcast.
Yeah. Yes, and I want to start our own podcast network. I got big dreams, all right?
Big dreams.
I want to do multiple podcasts, eventually.
We gotta set up wrestling one day.
Get the girls, they could have their own podcast.
Yeah, the lady cast.
The lady cast.
The lady closet cast.
Me and Jessica could have our own podcast. Me and Peyton could have our own podcast. You two could have a podcast together. We'll just break it up.
Podcast.
You get a podcast. Hey, Danny, will you check under your seat? There's a podcast there for you, buddy.
Would people really want to just hear different iterations? Basically, if we broke it up into all the different combinations, it'd be the same podcast as all three of us.
Over and over again.
We'd have different conversations with each other, but it'd be the same.
God, we rehash so much stuff that way.
Yeah.
As me and Justin were talking about a week ago, but I'm sure you didn't listen to it. But, oh man, we've had some good times in video games.
Have we?
We have. Payday 2 especially. Oh, Justin and I especially. Hoxton's Breakout.
Yeah.
Love
Hotline Miami.
Oh yeah. God, you learned that tower like the back of your hand there for a while. Can you still do that? Can you still rush the tower?
I don't know. I haven't played it since the last time we sat down and played at your place.
Well, this is supposed to be the update I was reading about a second ago is supposed to just be DLC stuff. Some free, some not.
See, I still just got the lame 360 version, and I play it, but then I just know that there's a much more awesome version on the Xbox One, and it depresses me, so...
Well, someday you'll upgrade.
One of these days. I mean, I thought I would have by now, but...
One of us. One of us.
See, here's
one of us.
But here's the hard part, though. My wife's a gamer, too, so I can't just buy one. We got to buy two.
Yeah,
and that's
that'll
the problem.
get expensive.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy one.
$300 a pop.
You can buy one, and you guys could just alternate like old school days where
yeah,
you
but
pass the rock, Danny.
But that's just, it's sad, though, because then you just watch the other person play, and you're like, man, I wish I was having
I
some of
wish
that
I
fun.
was having fun, too, but
You're
I'm just
gonna wait
sitting
till
here
he
staring
dies.
at my phone. I've got to go record a podcast with my friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, she'd get at least an hour a week. She'd get, you know.
But, yeah, I haven't gamed, and, I mean...
You need to...
My account's not even current. I need to... You know,
yeah, I've got to bring mine back up on Xbox Live. I
haven't
spent money on Legion for Warcraft, so...
Oh, God. World of Warcraft is back in Justin's life. Legion is... Actually, it was Warlords of Draenor. Draenor or Dranny? Or...
Well, Warlords of Draenor. I got in at the very ass end of that expansion with the 3 million people that were left. And I'm now playing Legion. It's entertaining. Certain story aspects are kind of upsetting me, but it makes sense because the guy who is in charge of lore has just announced his retirement from gaming in general.
Okay.
I got a copy of, I don't play World of Warcraft, but give you some backstories. Old friend of mine and my wife's from Michigan, they moved down here briefly and lived with us, and it didn't go so well, and they just ended up leaving without any warning. They left a lot of their shit here. So I ended up with a special edition of World of Warcraft, the Wrath of the Lich King, I believe.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a special edition. I think there's a few things missing, but it's mostly all there. I gotta find it. I was thinking if I could just find it, maybe we could like have a contest and give it away.
Oh God.
I thought about selling it, but I've just never gotten around to it.
Yeah.
So maybe if we get enough people to listen to it who are into World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Or you start your YouTube channel.
We know plenty of people who are streaming it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound so enthusiastic. Well, Facebook is trying to become the new Twitch.
Yeah.
And
they've been poking.
Haven't they been around longer than Twitch though? Shouldn't Twitch become a new Facebook?
But Twitch is live streaming for games.
YouTube's becoming the new Facebook now.
Yeah.
Have you seen their changes lately?
I've seen their changes. I'm okay with it. I think it's needed to be a more social platform anyway.
Not me. I like to watch my videos in private. Thanks.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, it'll make things. I feel like it's gonna make things more like phoned in advertising wise though. Like you're gonna see a lot more content creators pay more money to get up to the top of the page. Stuff like that.
So I guess we're just saying, like, if you're gonna contact us on Twitter, you're probably gonna be talking to Peyton. I got a feeling he's our
most likely
social media guy.
Well,
we're too introverted.
I don't care for Facebook.
I mean, I'll respond
to
people if they direct something at me, but I'm not going to actively go out because I have issues.
Yeah, same here. I don't like people.
I think both you guys should send out your random tweets, just because you need to get used to using the platform. If nothing else, to get used to using it.
I've had one for a while.
Lucky old fogey.
Hey, man.
I don't
get
think
on this.
that means what you think it means. Is that supposed to be an insult?
You get on this.
You filthy Jay.
Like right here.
Filthy Jay.
At John Proser. Wait, YouTube. So YouTube Live is kind of poo-poo, but Twitter streams their first NFL game and it looks incredible.
Wait,
see?
What are you rambling about?
I'm rambling off random tweets now. If you knew what that was.
I mean, I know what tweets are.
The tweeters.
Look at the Mallard Report.
Books of Face.
Me as a hashtag mother, getting to know Julie, episode 101.
I mean, I have Twitter, but I only use it to follow like other celebrities and shit that I'm kind of curious. Like if
well, I just don't feel like. Well, no, I really don't feel like celebrities keep their own accounts at all.
No, but I'd like
certain people.
I follow certain ones just because like if they're touring or something, you
like to know whenever they're in town, like Kevin
Smith. Yeah, like Kevin Smith or just some other podcasters. You know, there's a lot of wrestling podcasts. Jericho. You know, I like to know what guests are coming if I don't hear it.
Right.
Yeah, shit like that. So I've had one for a while. I've never tweeted anything. One tweet came from mine and it went to my sister, and it was hacked. Someone else tweeted it. It was one of those scams like you can make this much money by, giving us that. And Katie was like, "Well, that's great, but I just got a job." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I didn't tweet this to you though."
Yeah, the one tweet I have was to the Rooster Teeth podcast a few weeks after Jack Patillo had made a major spoiler about Game of Thrones, and then he was on the podcast a few weeks later talking about how people shouldn't do spoilers, blah blah blah, until a few weeks after the episode came out. And I tweeted, why is Jack Patillo the guy giving the ruling on what constitutes a spoiler when he is the person who spoils shit on Game of Thrones?
Ooh, Jabba Jack.
Ooh, shots fired at Rooster Teeth.
No, God, no. Those guys are awesome.
No, they are fantastic.
If you haven't listened to them, you should go look them up. That's actual quality podcasting.
It's a far superior.
That's a far superior product.
Achievement Hunter podcast, I think I like more than their Rooster Teeth one now.
Absolutely. They also have a gaming podcast, The Patch. This podcast brought to you by Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
No affiliation.
If we just start saying that, like
eventually we'll get sponsors.
We'll eventually.
It's like one of those. If you say it, they will come.
This podcast brought to you by Bugatti.
Oh.
Drive hard.
We gotta try those advertisers that you hear on every podcast.
Or we'll get sued for the money we're not making.
If we just
mentioning people's names that we're not affiliated with.
If we just keep saying "brought to you by Audible," do you think Audible will eventually
they'll notice us?
There's a way to sign up for that. I just gotta figure it out.
Oh, really? So
this podcast brought to you.
It's for every they'll go like audible.com/theclosetcast, and every time they go to that, we get credit if they sign up.
Yeah, but right now we're out on the fringe, man. We're like punk rock. We're like the punk rockers of podcasts.
Well, yeah, but getting our name out there on more platforms would be a lot better.
Just instead of a garage, we're in my childhood bedroom.
Oh God!
Yeah.
You know how many times
I can feel the teenage angst
and dismay.
And
the first time Danny took in this room,
very first.
God. The first time he looked at pornography, he was somewhere close to this room.
No, no.
Was it a fuzzy TV channel?
First pornography,
or was it forced porn?
Forced porn. Did we discuss forced porn?
We have not discussed forest porn. We should discuss this phenomenon.
People fucking in the forest?
No.
Finding
porn out like in the bike trails.
Yes. I understand. I remember that huge stack of magazines we found whenever we were like 12.
I also had a similar situation with a group of friends.
The bag of dildos.
Oh God! That is a worldwide phenomenon.
So by the way, the Closet Cast for mature audiences only. If you're still listening past this point and you're not a mature audience, then well, go ask your mommy and daddy.
It's the Closet Cast after hours.
Anyway.
But yeah, it's a global phenomenon. I think it was Reddit or one of those websites where people were talking about when they were a kid, they found porn in the woods, and then people from all over the world were like, "I didn't realize this was a thing."
Where I first heard it talked about
magazines out in the woods so their wives won't find them.
I don't know. I don't know what
the first podcast I heard it mentioned about was on Phoebe, Four Eyes and Beers, Scott Mosier and Matt Mira, the you know, freaking Talking Dead Chris Hardwick's sidekick on, you know, Nerdist. It's basically Kevin Smith's friend and Chris Hardwick's friend, you know, just the two, you know, other guys doing a podcast together, which is, I like it. They don't release them enough, though. But that's where I heard about this phenomenon at first, and I remember like, holy shit, I did it, and they got a bunch of tweets on it, like a lot of their future episodes, like, dude, I found porn in the woods too, and then eventually they had to be like, we're not talking about the porn in the woods anymore. We've established that everyone's found porn in woods, and I mean, even I found it.
It is kind of a phenomenon, though. I mean, where does this porn come from?
Like,
that's the question.
No,
who's leaving
what
the
I'm
porn?
worried about is, will future generations experience forest porn?
Because
it's a dying media.
Yeah, I mean,
porn is so readily available.
I mean, Playboy doesn't even have nudity in it anymore.
Right now.
Even with all the parental locks you want on it.
But like even Playboy doesn't even have nudity anymore.
Yeah, they went non-nude recently.
And that's the only reason why Meg isn't nude in Playboy.
God damn it.
Damn it, Meg. Just show us your breast. We're nerds.
I don't know. Who's Meg?
Sorry, Gavin.
I will pull up a picture of Meg.
Sorry about that, Gavin.
I don't know who Meg is. But
Meg Turney, formerly of Swartzfed, and then Rooster Teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, that entire staff is great, man. You do need to look into them, Danny.
I remember watching Red vs. Blue back in the day.
I have
and then
all
watching
seasons up to 13.
I don't like the new seasons when they got all serious and had that, you know, they started doing actual animation instead of just...
Oh, that's when it got really good.
I didn't like it. Ooh, yeah. Okay. I'd buy that Playboy.
God damn it.
Damn it, my wife's got to listen to this now because she's
dirty.
evolved.
Aw.
It's okay.
Whatever.
That's all right.
It's all good.
They know that we only have eyes for them and Meg. And Megan Fox.
Nah.
Megan Fox is listening to this.
Megan Fox, I am single.
She is not. She's having her second kid.
Oh, well.
She has a kid already.
At least we know she puts out.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sorry for my misogynistic phrasing there. I'm actually a nice person.
I'm assuming by now the PC crowd isn't listening.
I hope not, because I hate those people.
Yeah.
Well, it gets pretty freaking annoying.
Yeah, people getting offended easily. I mean no harm to anyone.
I am offended that people get offended.
Well, let's just get off this altogether, because one thing we forgot to mention last episode, and one thing we haven't talked about this episode. Justin, have you seen Stranger Things?
No.
Oh my God.
What is wrong with you, dude?
I don't have Netflix.
How do you not have Netflix?
I don't have any money.
Okay, well, just cut off the electricity and get Netflix.
Then how would I watch it?
You're running extension cord off some neighbor you got.
Yeah,
totally. Let me do that.
Totally. I don't know. Just get it and make it work somehow.
Just keep on signing up for free trials.
Yeah, there you
go. I will
create new emails and
Now we're not trying to sponsor the entire world here. I think we've sucked enough other people's penises.
Sucked enough.
Well, wait. Now we're talking about ripping off Netflix. I don't think we should be advertising that.
I think after that we might have Ryan's jizz on your cheek. Somewhere on there.
But
maybe even Gus is over here.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, man.
Stranger Things.
I will watch it. I've been wanting to.
We will save that conversation for.
Have you finished fucking Daredevil?
Yeah.
Dude, I
you finished it now?
I just can't stand the Electra stuff.
What?
I can't stand all the Electra
stuff.
You
gotta muscle through it.
Dude, they start having sex in a boxing ring after the most phoned-in acting job between two actors in the world.
You've got to.
It's
fucking
so
muscle through
good.
That bullshit
to get to the Punisher.
Can I just fast forward to the Punisher? Will I really
just
miss that
if
much?
Electra's on screen, just fast forward.
Yeah, look on your phone. Play.
I tried that. She's
Pokemon
really
or something.
I just don't like Electra.
Just skip it. She's
she
not.
Makes that
I didn't think she was that bad. Luke Cage is fixing to come out.
Yeah.
By the way,
no, I just don't think the character Electra was needed for the show at all. I get that she's a major component.
She's kind of tied to that.
Yeah.
She's not tied to it. She's a huge entire story arc several times over.
Well, yeah.
Throughout Daredevil's entire history. But just, it's a show. Just replace her.
By the way, Frank Miller had to be making out like a bandit this year. Mm-hmm. The Batman v Superman, the Batman that's based off of his Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns. And then that whole Daredevil story arc. That was Frank Miller as well. So, I don't know. I just had to throw it out. I was like, props to Frank Miller. He's
definitely props to Frank Miller.
He had to make some pretty good money this year. Good for him.
Oh yeah. I would assume. That's why I couldn't get through Daredevil, was because it just got really bad, man.
I didn't mind it all the way through. I agree.
Kind of muscle your way through.
Like I did love what's his name playing the Punisher.
Yeah.
What is his name? Fuck.
It's
Welcome to the Closet Cast, the uninformative.
John Berthenol?
Bethanol?
Yeah, something like that.
Bethesda?
No, I don't think it's
Did
that.
I say that?
I mean, you just did, so.
But,
freaking Shane from The Walking Dead.
Let's see.
Shane from The Walking Dead. Everybody knows that
Shane
guy.
from The Walking Dead. Everybody knows who that was.
Yeah. But, yeah, he was great. Great Punisher.
He was perfect for Punisher.
That whole story arc of the Punisher.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't choose anybody who wasn't him for the Punisher.
I was skeptical at first, I gotta admit, because I liked Tom Jane's Punisher for so long. But,
John Bernthal.
Yeah,
Bernthal.
That's close.
Yeah.
Frank Castle.
He did good, though. I really liked...
pretty good actor.
I thought they did well.
Okay,
and they did
I have
Punisher
something I need to
justice.
say about all of these superhero characters, or people who are playing superheroes. Why are no Americans playing superheroes?
Right.
Why are no Americans playing American superheroes?
Well, we have Elektra's a superhero, kind of. She's an anti-hero.
Is she American?
No.
Okay.
The chick playing her was probably American, but what I'm saying is...
See? We do have one out there.
Superman.
Yeah, he's British.
British.
We got Affleck, though.
Affleck's American, thank God.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, okay, we've got quite a few.
Chris Evans. Yeah, we got a lot of Americans.
Your entire argument is now null and void.
I just fucked your whole argument.
Yeah, you kind of did. Well, Superman needs to be played by an American, damn it. America!
Well, his whole catchphrase is truth, justice, and the American way. Oh, don't get me promoting on America again. Listen, Turkey, we're coming for your record. We're taking it. America!
Right now, we should just call in for the next 3 days to all of our respective jobs and just do this right now.
Right now.
No, we shouldn't.
No. I'm really tired already.
I'm getting ready to have to go, sadly.
Oh, man.
Because I have to work in the morning.
So do I. I gotta be up at 5.
Oh, you gotta be up earlier than I do.
Yeah. I power through, man. I don't sleep till like 11. I'm training. I'm training for you, Turkey.
Yeah.
Coming for you, man. Oh, you better watch it. You're gonna take that record. Take it.
All right, guys. Well, this has been the Closet Cast with
Justin,
Danny Foster,
and Payton. We hope to see you again next week. Follow us on Twitter at The Cast Closet. Follow us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/TheClosetCast. Follow us on YouTube under The Closet Cast. And you can also find us on Facebook. Give us a like. Give us some comments. Some feedback is always nice. If anybody has any questions out there, feel free to ask them. You guys have a great night.
Take it sleazy.
And keep it easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's our
Thanks for tuning in, guys.